How did the band start?
How did the band start? In 2003, I must have been like 16 years old, and you know, I had just had like this steadfast attitude. I was like, I want to be in a band. I want to do music really badly. And I'm from Queens, New York. And at the time, this is like pre like MySpace or any kind of like really big social networking site being like really popular. All I had to communicate with other people really was like message boards, right?
Yeah.
So like being so like stubborn, I was like, you know, if I can't start a band in my own neighborhood, you know, I'll go anywhere in the world to do this, you know, to chase this idea, this dream of mine, right? So ended up seeing like an ad on a message board for some kids in Connecticut that wanted to start a band. And they had mentioned some similar artists that I liked, and I was like, you know what? I had been lucky enough to record a song at one point with a band, and when I was really young. So I was like, yeah, I'll send them my demo. I'll just see if they like my voice, and I'll, you know, see what happens. So we traded emails, and they were like, all right, come down tomorrow and just try out or whatever, right? So the next day, I was on a train. It was a 3-hour trip from Queens, New York to Connecticut by public transit to go and try for this band. And that's kind of like the rest is history kind of thing, you know? And I mean, you know, it's definitely like strange to look back on it now because I'm really the only original member of the band at this point. But yeah, that was the birth of it. It was just kind of like my idea and my, I guess, I just wouldn't take no for an answer. I had to do it. You know, I had to do music. So that's kind of, I guess that's how it all started. Really,
it's paid off at least, anyway.
I guess so. Hopefully. I mean, I'm sleeping late, so I guess it's a good sign, right?
You probably think it's a dream tomorrow, don't you? How did you get noticed?
Excuse me?
How did you get noticed? You know, your music.
How did I get what? I'm sorry. What am I not?
Noticed, like recognized.
Oh, what do you mean, like?
What was it? The sort of defining moment that put you out there, and people were like, "Hey, this is one of these guys." You know?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. I'd say it's hard to answer that. I guess like we're still working hard. I don't think there's never a time where I'm like, yeah, you know, like this is it. You know, like we're really fucking doing it. You know, like it's just kind of more like, you know, I feel lucky and blessed that we get to continue to just do music and, you know, put albums out and people care what we're doing, and, you know, we seem to be making an impact in people's lives. So that's really the big payoff, you know, that there's like one person or 100 people who just I get to meet or something like that. They're like, yo, like, thank you so much for your music, or love your band, I'm glad I came to see you guys tonight. And that's really the payoff, honestly, more than anything.
What was, you know, are the musicians you listen to, which ones are really up there you'd love to play with?
Man, there's so many. There's also bands that we haven't got the chance to play with yet, like bands like Korn or Biscuit or Faith No More. I mean, everything from Kanye West to Diane Ward, everything. You know, I love everything. So it's like anyone that I really respect as an artist, I would love to collaborate or share stage with. But, you know, we'll see. Hopefully.
That's cool. Obviously, you've got a tour coming up with Parkway Drive in November as well.
Yeah. Those guys are awesome.
So excited for that?
Yeah, first off, I'm like a huge Parkway Drive fan. Like, those guys are absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And they were really nice enough to you know, offer us the opportunity to go and tour with them again. That band's massive. You know, they're doing so good, and to be a part of that is just like a great opportunity for us. And so, really thankful for that.
That's cool. That's cool. You know, what plans have you got, albums-wise, for the future?
We're supposed to be going and work on a new album really soon for 2013. I think we're just going to basically stay with the routine we've had and just kind of like continue to put songs together and put albums out. I mean, we just feel like, you know, it's like you might as well just stay in the public eye and continue to do what you do, and there's no point to like take a break or stop or whatever. You know, our last record was something we kind of like put together, not so much last minute, but like it was like, all right, you know, let's stay on course like we have been and try to like keep putting out releases back to back. So we'll keep doing that and hopefully keeping heavy records and I mean, that's really it. We're just kind of going there with the idea like, hey, we're going to make something that we can enjoy, and hopefully other people can enjoy with us, and that's really it. So.
Just keeping the wheels turning, and basically.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favourite memory from touring so far? I imagine there's a few, but what's the one that shines?
Oh man, I have so many. Shit, man, I don't know anymore. Favorite memory of tour. I don't know. That's always a hard question to answer. That's always one of those really hard ones to answer. It's like I don't know. I don't want to pick a certain moment that I'm like, kid, that one was so much fucking cooler. So.
What about a recent one? What's the most like recent sort of?
Recent one.
Obviously, meeting me today is probably going to be.
Probably, yeah. I'm gonna go. Let's just say that.
Okay. We got. Where did the band name derive from?
Man, this one sucks.
It's an interesting name.
It's all right. So basically, it's like this. Okay. When I was like 16 years old and the band started, my two old bandmates that were in the band at the time, we had this thing where anything that I thought was a good idea, I would shoot their way, and they would be like, "No, it's stupid. I don't like that. No, it's stupid." So the trick to getting my ideas across to them was I would have to think of an idea that I thought was the worst idea I had, and then that would be the idea they liked the most. So I realized that was how their brains worked. So I was like, okay, let me try this theory out. So when I mentioned that name to them, they were just like, yeah, that was it. So it was kind of like a means to an end. It was like nothing else was working, and then I mean, there was also at the time like a really like popular like I don't know thing where all these bands that were coming up all have these really elongated names like Death was Sorrow's Yesterday and Blood Will Be Seen by the Sky. Like all these bands, so many at the time when we started the band, so we're like, yeah, we don't want to be one of these really long name weird bands. Like we just want to have like one word that's kind of like defines us, and we can put it on everything and kind of like become like a logo or emblem or whatever. And so that's kind of how it happened. So it's kind of like this weird bridge of like little footsteps in front of each other, barely making it, and then we land on something pretty good. So I mean, it's funny to think back on how I'm just like that wasn't even my initial idea, but it ended up being the best one, I guess.
I suppose it's like when you get a tattoo or something. Maybe at the time it was like, yeah, I'll do this, and now it's stuck with you for life, and it's good.
Yeah. You're like, what, maybe at the time that tattoo was going to be a bad idea, but yeah, it's paying off. But yeah. I guess it's comparable, sure.
What's your music guilty pleasure? Is there an artist out there you think I shouldn't tell people this, but I do like them? I
don't have any guilty pleasures. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I only have pleasures. I love everything. If I love something, and if you love something and you have guilt about it, that's your own deal and issue. I have no guilty anything. I love everything.
That's cool. What's the strangest fan experience you've had so far?
Strangest fan experience. I don't know. There's probably more for me to like. There's probably more to happen that hasn't happened yet. But I mean, some of our fans are really exceptional, and some of them are strange. And I mean, whatever, they're all amazing. Yeah. So I have nothing like really to pinpoint. It's like, man, this one guy was like too out of control. I've had instances where people think that I'm very rude though, and I think it's really strange because I've always like taken time to talk to people, photos, pictures, autograph, whatever. So like. That always kind of disturbs me, and people were like, I met him and he was totally mean, and I'm like, dude, I didn't even talk to you. I didn't even say anything to you. I probably said hello and shook your hand and walked away. I mean, if you want to get to know me, I mean, maybe after the show, buy me a drink or something like that, but I don't know.
I suppose people don't see it from your point of view how busy you are and how much you've got to do either day.
I guess it's just it's more like in passing. I'm going from place to place, and maybe someone's like, hey Frank, and like I've never 99.9% every single time you catch me somewhere, I'm gonna give you the time of day because that's the part of the gig. And so that's the only thing I thought was kind of strange or odd is when people think that I'm like rude or standoffish. I'm really obviously not.
It's a good answer. What's the biggest challenge you faced so far? And how did you sort of get past it?
It's just I think the biggest challenge of being in a band or being a musician or touring or anything like that kind of lifestyle is just like it tests your patience. You have to be a chameleon. You got to learn how to adapt to things. shit, I mean, like, I was just doing all these festival runs and being in Europe this whole time, and like, honestly, like, you gotta pack enough socks and underwear, because you're probably not gonna do any laundry. And if you're someone who expects to be well groomed every day, don't bother. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna be sharing showers, sharing bathrooms, sharing time, sharing space. So like, you gotta learn how to adapt to everything around you, and that's probably the only thing that kind of weighs on you after a while. Is like, you know, I mean, it's like 5 weeks in, and I'm like, man, I can use a fucking haircut. All right, man. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you're telling all your dudes, like, hey, man, on my last pair of underwear, can we find a laundromat? Are we gonna find a laundromat? Probably not. So that's just happenstance. I mean, that's just really, I'm talking about, I guess, maybe here more than anywhere. But that's the only thing you have to learn, is how to like adapt to things and make use of your time, because there is so much downtime, and if you're not, you know, if you have idle hands, you're just gonna lose your mind. You know what I mean? You're gonna fall into bad habits, or end up just being like upset about stuff, and you know, might as well stay busy best you can.
Yeah, that's cool. Any nicknames in the group between the guys?
Nothing but nicknames. All we do is us on our favorite pastime just insulting each other all day. I'm sure I call everyone in my band every dirty word there is, and every kind of disgusting name you could think of. So I mean, they're all none of them are G-rated. They're all real bad. I
think it seems to be a guy thing now. Really, you see guys doing it all the time, you know.
Yeah, I can't help it. I can't help it. Just really just rip into everyone in my band all the time. I can't help it. It's fun.
What's been your sort of favourite shared band experience? You know, when you've been on tour with somebody, who's been that band out there you thought, oh man, that's been the best gig I've played with somebody?
Me, like with my band?
Yeah, yeah. And obviously with another band, maybe. You know, what's your favourite band you've played with?
Unbroken Wings is one of my favorite bands of all time, and we got to take them out on their return tour in like 2008. And that was a big deal for me, because I was like such a hardcore fan. Like, they were just it for me, and I'm good friends with those guys now and everything. So like, it's not like, you know, look back on it now, and I'm still such a fan. But that was really special for me to be like, wow, you know, like this fucking band that I like was super passionate about. Yeah. We got the chance to like kind of like, you know, bring them out and sort of like, you know, help them like rekindle their establishment and whatever the case was. I mean, whatever, they've never gone away in my eyes, but that was like their return tour or whatever. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Seems like a good thing. It seems like a selfless thing, and it was a good memory as well. So it's quite nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any messages you'd like to put off to the Bring the Noise readers?
I guess thank you guys for listening or looking, or I don't know, whichever one you're doing, and our fans are honestly the most amazing thing in the world to us, and if you are listening, thank you so much. And interview's great, and I hope that none of my answers were too terrible.